Hey guys, I'm live. Tommy Ady here, back home in Boise, Idaho, on my way to work right now. Just dropped my 15-year-old off at school. He just had a birthday last weekend, and it's the last week of school here. So I had a big last week. I was all over the place, and let's see, Dallas, Texas, Oklahoma City, Lawton, Oklahoma, Stillwater, Oklahoma, dealerships all over the place. And so I started, some of you have heard about this, I was trying to buy a truck a couple weeks ago. The most difficult part for me was figuring out what I wanted as far as a vehicle went. And there's a large used vehicle retailer down in Texas, and so I decided I was going to go through them because it was going to be easy. They had the inventory, going to be easy. Normally I buy everything local here in Boise, but I was having a hard time finding exactly what I wanted, and so I decided that I was going to get a Ford. I've always been a Chevy guy, but I was going to get a Ford, and then with the inventory that I found down there, I decided I was going to get a Ford Raptor, like a race truck, 650 horse, and decided, you know what, why not get something like that? It'd be fun. I can do burnouts all over the place. I don't do burnouts all over the place, but I do like to roast my tires once in a while, and I'd like the power that it has. So I made an offer. They've got a little button on their website, and it says make an offer. So I made an offer. It was $2,000 under what they were asking. It took them about 24 hours to get a hold of me. At first, I got an auto response, and it said thanks. Somebody will be getting a hold of me soon, and that was within minutes of me submitting my offer. So about a day later, I get a call from them, and the guy said he sounded like he's going to be a pretty good salesperson. He said thanks for the offer, but there's no way that we could do that. However, I still have that vehicle, so are there any questions I can answer for you on it? And I said, well, I just want to make sure that it's hasn't been smoked in, and yeah, I'll go ahead and pay sticker. I was surprised when you would might consider an offer on it, but made sense to me. It was already priced well. Low miles, late model. So he was going to get back to me, so I got another phone call a day later from another salesperson, same place. And I said, yeah, I was waiting to find out if it had been smoked in. Oh, okay, well, we'll check on that. So a couple of days later, I get another call back from a different salesperson, and yeah, I'm just waiting to find out if it's been smoked in. And each salesperson tried to get a $500 deposit from me every time, which was great that they would do that. Pulling into my office now. Yeah, that was great that they would do that. Very important. Try to get a $500 deposit for me to hold that thing. And so, I better turn my radio down. So I never did that, but they would never answer my question if it had been smoked in. And so in the meantime, it's been a couple of weeks. I got home Friday, and then Saturday morning, just a couple of days ago, I decided, you know what, I really got to get a vehicle because I was without a truck. I ride dirt bikes, we hunt, we fish, we do all sorts of stuff, but we're always hauling. I mean, it's dirt bikes, it's bicycles, and I could really use a truck because I sold mine. So Saturday morning, decided my wife and I were going to go look for a vehicle. And I don't like shopping for a vehicle, not at all, because I don't want to go lot to lot to lot. And I started off with Auto Trader on Saturday morning. My kid and I sitting on the couch, and I started off on Auto Trader, and I normally don't go there. I just don't get into doing this stuff. And I'm too busy, not enough time to do it. And so Auto Trader, I decided it was okay, but it kind of sucks. They need to optimize their website, but it's working for them, so they don't need to do a damn thing, making a ton of money and raping the dealers with started to fail on this thing. Okay, so I'm still going. I think I'm going to move to a different parking spot. So took off Saturday morning, gonna go find a vehicle, and I knew I was gonna do this loop, hit all the car stores until I found the right vehicle. There were 3. At first I took off looking for a Ford. That's what I was gonna get at. And then, but my second choice would be a Chevy, because I've always had Chevys. My third choice, there really wasn't a third choice, but I would consider a Ram. And no Toyota, no Nissan, just not into them. Nothing against them, just not into them. And so went to the first lot, drove by it, glanced in it, didn't see anything there. Yeah, it was a quick glance. And so went to the second lot, pulled in there. They've always got nicer trucks in there, I noticed. RVs, like coaches, nicer trucks, pulled in there, hopped out of the truck with my wife, saw a couple that I liked. Salesperson immediately came up. Hey, how are you doing? Guy, you got a picture of this. He's got about a 10-inch beard, I'd say, on him, something like that. And tall, thin guy, tattoo sleeves up and down his arms, wearing a ball cap, but he's clean, got a polo on. And I'm thinking either he's a customer, he's a lot boy, or he is a salesperson there. And obviously he was a salesperson. Came up, greeted us, and what are you looking for? I'm looking for a truck. And so then I started asking questions. What year is that one? How many miles are on that one? Because I had certain parameters that I wanted to stick with. It had to be a certain age. Couldn't be too old, couldn't have too many miles, and then we'd open up the doors, take a look. So they had a ton of trucks there. So it narrowed it down to 2. A Ram 1500. Just took it in trade the previous day. And a Chevy Silverado 1500 Z71. Took it in trade the previous day. So they're still dirty, but this Ram is not dirty. There's nothing dirty about it. And it's got some eyeball. It's got a lift kit on it. I'm not looking for a lift kit. I'm not looking for big wheels and tires. I just wanted a truck because I was gonna stick with something that's not modified or anything, and unless it, well, not even a Raptor, but I was gonna take a Raptor too. So looking at these vehicles, and I asked him, narrowed it down. Those were the only 2 that I wanted on his lot. And so I asked, what's the price range on, or yeah, how much are those? And he said, I don't know. We just took them in trade. Got to check with my manager. Well, what's your manager's name? He said his manager's name. I go, holy cow, I know that guy. We used to work together about 12 years ago, doing F&I in a car dealership. And he was very good, and he was honest, and I liked him, and he taught me a lot. And anyway, so he goes in there and tells the guy who's out there. He comes out, and we were old friends, and so we went inside, looked at what he'd be able to sell those to me for, and they were killer deals on either of them. Showed me what he was into them, and I wasn't trying to work them. Anyway, he said take him for a drive and then come back and let him know. So my wife and I went out for a drive for about 15 miles in each one, came back, narrowed it down to the Ram. And this thing, it's got a 4-inch lift on it. It's got 35s, 20-inch wheels, and spotless. So that's the one. I mean, it's spotless, gorgeous. And so went inside, or parked it, and it's Saturday, so they're having a big barbecue. They're doing hot dogs, hamburgers, like that for all the customers. And all of a sudden, there's a ton of people in there, and they open up all their doors, and these guys are having fun. Now, in their off time, they've got a band. Some of the guys at this dealership playing a band, a real rock band, which is cool. So we're standing in there. Hey, how'd you like it? Yeah, it was great. And so, here, have a burger. No, I don't need a burger. I'm okay. And so everybody's in there talking, and then finally I got to go. Cue these guys to get to their office. Hey, could we go in there and talk, look at some figures? Oh, yeah. So 2 of the guys, my old friend and the salesperson, my wife, we go into the office, sit down, and so my old buddy's ready to start typing in some figures. Give me some figures. And I go, I wasn't serious about the figures. I just had a couple of questions about the truck. I was just trying to get you guys away from all those people out there so I could ask you a few questions. The wheels on that truck. Have you got another truck with black wheels? Because I want those wheels swapped with another if you can do that. And, oh, well, let me check on that. They didn't have another one on the lot with black wheels, but you never know what dealers have. And turned out they had another vehicle they just bought brand new black wheels for, 20s, off a Dodge, or for a Dodge, and they said, yeah, we can do that. So he gave me a price on the vehicle that I picked out, said, yeah, they could do the wheel swap, and I said I would take it. Let's get this wrapped up. So I had my truck bought it took 2 hours with 2 demos, and done deal, paper sign, I'm out of there. Now I'm kind of an easy sale as long as you've got what I want. I'm not going to nickel and dime you, and a lot of people won't do that. But here's what you've got to take from this. There's a couple of things you've got to take from this. I closed myself in there. Now, they did a fabulous job greeting me immediately when we were out of the truck. Was that uncomfortable? Not a bit. Some people think they've got to give you time to walk around the place. Not a bit. This salesperson, Shane is his name, did a fabulous job greeting us and then asking us what he could help us find and then getting the questions answered. He didn't even have prices, but he was totally willing to go get those prices. And when he did, his manager came out to greet us. Now, whether he knew us or not, he came out, and who's the best closer in a dealership? It better be the manager. Typically, it's the F&I manager, at least a sales manager. So he came out and greeted us. Hey, thanks for coming in. I haven't seen you forever. How's it going? Which is great. But so the salesperson did a great job. But the thing is, all of a sudden, the emotion is over and it's time to rationalize this thing. And I needed to separate those guys from the customers and the other salespeople that were in the store. I had to get them away. I had to tell them, can we go somewhere else and sit down and look at some figures? I didn't need to see the figures. I just had a couple of questions and I was uncomfortable doing it in front of everybody else, but it was time to move that process along. That's where so many people stall. They fail, and you can't do that. You've got to realize when the selling is done and your customer likes that one, that's the one. Don't give them a chance to say, okay, thanks, I'm going to go think it over, because they might really go think it over. But if I would have left there, I would have gone right to the next dealership. And I was a buyer. I bought this weekend. But if I didn't tell them, ask them, can we go sit down and look at some figures? I would have walked out that door knowing they're probably not going to sell that thing within the next couple of hours. I'm going to take off, and I would have been to the next store. If that next store didn't have what I was looking for, I would have gone to the next. I've probably got like 30 dealerships around here that I could have gone to, some big ones, some small ones, and I would have gone to every one until I found what I was looking for. Fortunately, I did it at the first one, but they could have lost that if they didn't get me to sit down. But I had to ask them to sit down. So, salespeople, managers, when that selling is done, get your customers to sit down. Don't ask them, would you like to go sit down and look at some figures? You say, let's go over here and I'm going to get some figures for you. Because people want to see figures. That's exactly what you've got to do. The other thing, take a thing from my Texas car dealer down there. I think that they just sell too much. I bet their salespeople are paid on volume. They're probably not the best salespeople that there are, but you got to follow up immediately with these customers when they're emailing you and get them closed over the phone. Ask for a deposit. Don't get lazy. But that's about it for today. Don't forget, after you show your customer something, you do your feature advantage benefit presentation to them. That's the unit for them. Get them at your desk immediately, away from everybody else. Sit them down and ask them to buy. So that's it. We've got a conference coming up the end of June for F&I people. What else have I got going on? That's about it. Going to be doing a few conferences. Got a couple in July also. And thanks for tuning in. It's Tactical Tuesday. Let's get this week started right. Ask people to buy. Get some figures out to them. Okay, you guys have a good week. Bye.